out of honeydew melon. Forbes says the biggest competitor this year is the watermelon slice that has champagne in it. That one's served in a fluorescent yellow glass shaped like a tennis ball. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
W263AI Murfreesboro. W270AF Murfreesboro. The Wake Up Crew, weekday mornings, 6 to 7:50.
WGNS, your good neighbor station.
Rutherford County's place to talk. There are places where people talk, and then there are places that people talk about. News Radio WGNS is both on air, online, and on the phone. Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. Flagship station for MTSU Sports.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Well, good Wednesday morning. Chip Walters here with you from Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates, and the Blue Raider Network. Glad to have you with us for this Wednesday edition of, Brian, I'll say it, the award-winning Roundtable.
That's the first time that's been said, so that's nice.
There you go. I like to plow new ground when I can, but, we're so honored. This program and the 5 different hosts, you took a chance on a new idea 3 years ago, having a different host each day, because Lord knows not one person could do what Truman was doing. So 5 different host groups, and everybody comes with a little different take and how they, book their shows and do things. And we've had good response from the public, and now for it to be looked at by the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters and be awarded the best local talk show in small markets across the state. It's a real honor.
It really is. To be a finalist was one thing, and then which
was great.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of great radio stations, television stations were recognized, and some were finalists, and there were 160 plus, almost 170 entries total for all of the awards. So that says a lot about the state of Tennessee and what it offers from Memphis to Johnson City, and it was a great night.
And congratulations to you for being the driving force behind Rutherford Weather and all of, you picked up several awards for how that is being implemented, yeah. And you and John for local sports.
It's that's 2 out of the last 3 years for the two of us, which is pretty awesome. I really don't know what to say about that one, especially. And the local public service award also went to Rutherford Weather, and that is across all markets and all radio medium. So was really proud of that one. So it was a banner night, which means we have to keep it up, I guess.
That's right. So and the way you do that for the Roundtable is you follow up an award with a big time guest, and that is exactly what we have done today. One of the great ladies in our town, and is I put on my Facebook page yesterday, kind of previewing one of the real great servant leaders in this town, and that's Frida Morgan. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Chip?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to think how far back we go. It just from first time. It's.
I didn't have gray hair, and
neither did I.
I think Brian had a head full of hair, and Dalton Barrett was about 10 years old doing Sir Pizza commercials. So yeah, it's been a day or two.
Yeah, it has. But when I asked you to do this. You had just announced your retirement from the banking industry, which we'll talk about, but you also not too long after that said that Frida 2.0 was coming out, and you put it out there that you have a new position, and shockingly, you're helping people, and that is with special kids.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I spent 48 years in banking in Rutherford County, and I needed a change, and so Frida 2.0 took Chris Truelove to lunch one day. He's the executive director at Special Kids. I was fortunate enough to help them on their board of directors for a few years, and I said, Chris, when I retire, I want Special Kids to be my retirement job. So he was like, okay. And everything just fell into place like it should, and I retired on August the 1st, and on August the 6th I went to work at Special Kids with Casey Ewing and her staff in the development office, and we're having a big time.
Well, that's good.
The days fly by, and our office is next door to the playground at Special Kids, so we get to see the therapist and the children out there, trying the slides out and learning all the different equipment on the playground, and it's good times.
Yeah, that's great. I want to kind of go a little bit in chronological order. On the back side of the hour, we'll talk a little bit more about things that you all have going on at Special Kids, including some stuff tomorrow night. So that you didn't just jump in and tread water. I mean, you jumped in and doing all kinds of stuff, which we'll talk about. But kind of a good place to start's the beginning. You talked about being in a banking career for 48 years, but for folks, I mean, everybody knows you from coming in whatever bank you were at, and or to some events and around town, chamber, ribbon cuttings, whatever it may be, and you were always there. But what was before that? Where did little Frida grow up, and what's that story?
Well, I was born over in Shebville, as they say in Bedford County, and my family moved to Christiana when I was in the 3rd grade, and Mr. Billy Summers was my principal at Christiana Elementary, and he actually came to my retirement party that we had at the bank, and so that he and his daughter Sean Wolf that works with Ted Beatty came, and that was a good day. So always good to see him. He says I was an old soul when I was in the 3rd grade. He used to put the telephone, if he had a meeting or something he had to go to, he'd put the telephone outside his office, and I'd answer the phone for the school and take messages. So but went to Riverdale High School. Graduated, didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I was fortunate enough that I got a job. Sherry McCullough and Wayne Gensmer gave me an opportunity at the original Murfreesboro Bank and Trust, which was up on the square. On the north side of the square there in the corner. And my very first job in banking, I worked in the bookkeeping department, and I filed checks. Back in the 70s, everybody wrote a check, and so there were these big tubs that had shelves on them that had individual file boxes, and everybody that wrote a check, when that check was paid by the bank, I filed that check every day, and then certain days of the month we made bank statements, and so we would count the number of checks that Chip Walters had and make sure it matched his bank statement, and we would put those in and fold the bank statement up, put it in an envelope, and run it through the postage meter, and then they'd get taken to the post office. So
I mean, it's funny how things change. Even in my real estate business now, if I have a new buyer, one of the first questions I ask them is, "Do you have checks?"
Yes.
Because if you purchase a house, we may need you to write a check for earnest money, or but I've had some young couples who didn't have checks that ended up. Let's say it was on a small house, it was like a $2,500 earnest money. They went and got like $500 money orders.
Oh, wow.
And paid it that way. But now more and more title companies and real estate companies are able to take wire transfers, which you can typically do out of your online banking, or there are a couple that even take Venmo.
Oh, really?
Which is, and we'll see more and more of that. But somewhere along the way, you had to figure out you were good with numbers. But and it probably was at Christiana, because obviously you were somebody that when you were answering the phone when Mr. Summers was going up and down the hall, that you were someone who did not mind taking responsibility, and he knew you could be trusted with that, and that is, I think, is a metaphor for what happened over the next 48 years in your banking career.
Yes, it is. I also ran the bookstore every morning in elementary school. So, yeah, I guess I've always taken on responsibility. But yeah, I guess my greatest gift is that of people. Years ago, Ralph Vaughn, one day at a chamber event, he said, "I'm thinking about starting a group," and I don't think we were actually called the Diplomats when we started it, because the chamber building was over in Cannonsburg in the log cabin, and we met upstairs in the log cabin in a tiny space, no bigger than this studio. And at that time, Murfreesboro had just gotten liquor by the drink, so we were getting, some of the national restaurants and, the Red Lobsters and the Chili's and the of the world. And so he said, as fast as we're growing, I can't get out to all the businesses. So what I need help with is, when their membership comes up, if you all will go out and thank these businesses for being chamber members and talk to them, and while you're there, you can give them one of your business cards. And so I did that for a bit. Kevin Smith and John Hood, and I remember Joy Job. We were all up there. We'd sit in the floor upstairs at the cabin, and Ralph would give us our list, and we'd get our little membership booklets, and off we'd go.
Well, right before Ralph was the chamber director, he worked up here, right. It's funny. I ran into Ralph a couple weeks ago, but he's living in Nashville now. But Ralph would do the morning show here, and Ralph he would have Ralph's positive punch of the day, and so he. So he was always a guy that I could see exactly why your personalities with Ralph would certainly mesh. Frida Morgan is our guest today, and by the way, if anybody wants to send her well wishes, even though it is a little bit post-retirement, you can do so. You can text us today, 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. But obviously, so the bookstore, was that your first learning of how to balance the cash box, I guess?
Yes, it would have been. It would have been. Yep. Yeah. I've always told people.
What all did you all sell in the bookstore at Christiana in those days?
Well, we had the big writing tablets, the ones I guess that had the, where you learn to write cursive, which now is ancient.
Well, they're bringing it back.
Oh, good.
Yes,
good.
I'm very happy about that.
Good.
So we can actually, in my world of real estate, we can now maybe again have people that can actually have a signature,
a real life signature.
Yeah.
We sold pencils, we sold notebook paper, had a few rulers, so just basic stuff. So that was fun times. Learning to count the money and turn the money in every day. So those were good times.
So that was the first part of banking. Then you went to Riverdale.
Yes.
And what teachers at Riverdale made an impression on you? And who was your principal out there at the time?
Been Mr. Buckner.
Yep. Carl Buckner.
Carl Buckner. Faye Phillips. That's Tanya Rogers' grandmother.
Okay.
And if Miss Phillips said jump, you ask her how high and which direction she needed you to jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was good times. Yeah. Well, let's see. I need my friend Judy Taylor here with me to tell the story of our home ec days with Pam Lynch. Craig Lynch's wife, Pam, was my home economics teacher. I love Miss Marie Miller, love Miss Eloise Womack. Had some great folks there. Miss Clara Todd was my algebra teacher. So yeah, we had it. Those are good memories. Those are really good memories.
Absolutely. And how quick out of high school did you go to work, or was there any post high school? Did you decide to go anywhere, business school or anything after that?
No, I went to work in the bank the fall of the year I graduated from high school, and afterwards, there used to be classes through the American Institute of Banking. They were called AIB classes, and they were all held in Nashville. And the bank used to give us an allotment for our meals, maybe like $5 a week for meal, because you left work like at 4 and went to school in Nashville at night. And so we would bank our money. We'd take us a little snack from home, and we'd bank our money, and then every 5 or 6 weeks we'd go somewhere big like the Sail Maker and have have the salad bar at the Sail Maker, or Ireland's, and have steak and biscuits.
God, steak and biscuits at Ireland's. There you go. That was big time.
That was big time. That was living large, wasn't it, Chip?
Absolutely, it was. Frida Morgan is our guest today. We're going to take a break, step away, and talk about her wonderful career in banking and serving the people here in Murfreesboro, and also what she has going these days out at Special Kids. And we'll continue along on the Wednesday morning roundtable here on WGNS.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
Get ready for an unforgettable night and support First Shot. Autumn at the Alley is coming to Oakland's Mansion Tuesday, September 24th from 6 to 9 p.m. Sip on fine bourbon, wine, and spirits, enjoy premium cigars, and feast on incredible food from the Alley on Main, all while enjoying live music under the stars. Proceeds benefit First Shot's Academic All-Stars and Send the Kid to Camp programs. Find out more on their Facebook page and through Eventbrite. Autumn at the Alley, September 24th.
Smyrna, flagship station for MTSU Sports.
Your business deserves the best support, just like good jeans. We make sure everything fits perfectly. At Syscorp Computer Services, our managed IT services keep your system secure, your network running smooth, and your team looking good, because nothing's better than a perfect fit.
Call Syscorp today for your free consultation or visit our website at sys-corp.net.
At Syscorp, our managed IT services like Good Genes never lets you down.
Life's too short to stress about insurance. That's why Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance is here to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control, Old National Bank, and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
At the law offices of John Day, we take only real cases that make a real difference.
Dear John, I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done so much. I know you went over and beyond, and that's why I just think the world of you. Thank you. Robert K.
My pleasure, Robert. If you're ever injured, know that we are here for you, too. Call the law offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
WGNS encourages you to shop local. Let's patronize our local family businesses. That helps our community. Are you being challenged by your smartphone? Well, if that's the case, don't fight it. Head to any of the Rutherford County Public Library branches, and there's somebody there who'll help you. The Rutherford County Public Library system is there for you. And don't forget the library offers free computer classes. That's over at their Tech Center on Minerva Drive in Murfreesboro. Yoga, you hear so much about it, especially in the areas of stretch and balance. Yoga makes you healthier. And there are yoga classes year-round at Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Department's SportsCom, also the Patterson Community Center, and their St. Clair Senior Center. Check with the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Department about the yoga classes. Oh, the Red Cross is still critically low on blood. Phone them at 800-RED-CROSS and make an appointment to give the gift of life. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
See a few scattered showers and thunderstorms at times this afternoon. Partial sunshine develops, a high in the mid-90s. Tonight, slight chance for rain early, a low near 69. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki from the WGNS Rutherford Weather Center.
Currently, it's 81.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Seriously looking at solar power generation? MTE offers a free consultation with an energy expert and has an entire library of educational resources. To learn more, visit mte.com/prosolar.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Wednesday Roundtable here on WGNS, and the hellos and well wishes pouring in. Michael McEllier of Michael's Painting here in town does a great job. He wanted to say hello to his friend Frida Morgan, Richard Lewis, my compadre at Exit Realty. Called in and wanted to make sure to tell you hello this good morning, and it's going to make you feel good.
Oh, absolutely. I have been overwhelmed by the folks, like Richard and Michael McEllier that have reached out. I've gotten messages on LinkedIn from people that, I was given a chance in the 70s. I tried to give other people a chance that maybe weren't the exact textbook fit to be a banker, but, I saw qualities in them that we could develop, and, they've got great successful careers, and I've had people that have reached out saying thank you because you took a chance on me, and here I am all these years later, and I'm a market president, for a bank, and now I'm the head of underwriting for a bank. I'm like, okay, that's wonderful. So, because we all need a chance.
Exactly. And from those early days of filing checks at Murfreesboro Bank and Trust, which is now that's the Whiskey Dicks, isn't it? Right there,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
On the corner. Mm-hmm.
On the corner, right there. That and Borough Bourbon and Brews. So, as the face of downtown Murfreesboro changes a little bit. As you moved up through your career, it meant moving around a little bit, which was not unusual in the banking business. But what were some of the other stops and some of the other people who made an impact on you in a professional manner? And as you continued to develop, your core was there,
right?
And there have been a lot of really good people in the banking business here in town that have made impressions and have mentored others as they've come along.
Oh, exactly. Mr. Jack Weatherford, Mr. Jack Holden were the leaders at Murfreesboro Bank and Trust, and there was something special in that building. We've all said that for years. Anybody that ever worked there, I have never been able to identify what it was, but they always made you feel like you mattered, you were important to the group, and we were one big family, and those were good times. And then when Bob Murphy and Bill Rowland started First City Bank, I was fortunate enough they hired me a few months after they had started. Their office was in a trailer out on Church Street. It had been an old putt-putt golf course, and if the little round vault door was closed, the trailer leaned to one side, and if it was open, it kind of leaned to the other side. So
that was a real leap of faith when they did that.
Yes, it was. It absolutely was. But those were good times. And then they built the city center, and we moved in there. And then when First American purchased First City Bank, I didn't know if I was going to have a job until about the 11th hour, and I was fortunate enough to get placed at their branch on Broad Street, which is now where Wilson Bank and Trust is located. And we were busy. That was a busy branch. Those drive-in windows, they'd wrap around the building. But good times.
In those, I guess, had State Farm moved out by then?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
but
yes.
Because that one point, that corner, you had Haynes Brothers across the street.
Right.
You had Larry Counts had his gas station there on the corner. Had Elcar.
Right.
You had, and behind that, before the bank went in, you had State Farm. Ms. Winter's Chicken was across the street.
Right.
So you had all kinds of activity going on down through there. But I remember when that bank building, that was a hub, because it was right there on a main drag, and that was still in the day when you had to go into the bank.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. It was busy. We worked hard, and at that time, banks were open till 6 o'clock on Friday and open on Saturday from 9 till 1. And as soon as you unlocked that door on Saturdays, it was people everywhere. But
cash and paychecks.
Yeah, that's right. So, as my friend says, you can't stir them with a stick.
That's right. That's right. Well, after that, where was the next stop?
I went to SunTrust Bank, and I was a business banker, but my position got transferred to Nashville, and my folks got sick. My dad had a stroke, and I needed to be back here. And Ben Weatherford called one day, and he said, "Hey, I'm over at Rutherford Bank and Trust. Come talk to me." So that call allowed me to get back to Rutherford County, which I needed to be for my folks, and was there. And then it was sold to a bank out of East Tennessee, and then Mr. Klaus Tormillion and Tim Spry from First National Bank out of Manchester, they wanted to enter Rutherford County, so I went to work for them in 2008. They built a bank over on Mercury Boulevard, which is now Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard, and I was there.
It's Old National now, I think.
Yes, Old National, right. Mm-hmm.
So.
And left there after about 12 years. David Scott and his wife Karen and Don Abernathy and I, we used to play trivia on Friday nights at the Mexican restaurant. And one Friday night after trivia, he said, "You got a second?" And he told me about an opportunity that he was looking at. So I worked with David at Smart Bank for 6 years. So that's where I retired from.
So, and the thing that comes to mind when I hear you talk about that is that you never went out looking for jobs. Jobs came looking for you, and people, and that says a lot about you and the way that you treated other people, because they whenever a new bank would pop up and they wanted, number one, you had deep ties and knew a lot of people, so they obviously want to tap into that with your network of people out there, but they also knew how you treated people, and they wanted someone like you in their bank, which said an awful lot to me.
At the end of the day, you gotta just love people, because you never know what somebody's gone through 3 seconds before they walk in your door. Yeah. You don't know what's going on in their life, so you just gotta love them and be kind.
You were telling a story during the break, and kind of I want you to relay it to the audience about just when you were at First National, some simple little things that you all did, because sometimes people think customer service is dead these days.
Right.
But you did a couple of little things that didn't cost the bank a whole lot, but sure paid off in goodwill.
Yes, we every day we baked cookies. We had a little Otis Spunkmeyer oven, and we baked about 3 dozen cookies a day, and people loved to come in and grab a cookie and a hot cup of coffee. And particularly some of the senior citizens that were really on a shoestring budget, they would come by and do a little transaction of banking business and have them a cookie or two and a cup of coffee, and they'd leave happy and fed. And in the summertime, we would get an ice cream cooler from Murfreesboro Pure Milk, because June is Dairy Month and July is Ice Cream Month. And I learned that from John Douglas Hood. June is Dairy Month. And we would have the little miniature ice cream sandwiches, and that was such a hit with people. The little children that parents pick them up after school and they'd run by the bank for something. They could get them a sucker, and they could get an ice cream sandwich, and that brought out a lot of smiles. So sometimes it is the little things in life that really make a difference.
Yeah, and it's and sometimes in this day and age, something like that stands out because it's not. The way they even build bank buildings now is different because it's not. You mentioned that one down there on Broad Street. It had a big grand lobby, and there's probably 5 or 6 spots for tellers. If you walk in a bank and it's got more than one teller now, then that's okay, we're in an older bank, but it's everything is going online, and how did you, as you went through your career, how did to use a quote, not casting anything here, but how you had to be the old dog that learned new tricks as you went through.
Yeah, I did. Had a fella call me yesterday to tell me he missed me, because he said, "You all always made me feel special." And he said, a lot of folks, he said, it's transactional. So, regardless of what your business is, just like you and I were talking earlier about your real estate business with Exit Realty, it's not transactional. I mean, you're impacting lives. You're there for the good times and the bad times, and anytime somebody's got a lifestyle change, they may need to make changes with their housing situation. Right. So you need to be there and be the steady force for folks, because it's nothing we do is transactional. You gotta love them.
Love on your people, and it's exactly right. And I thought, as you were kind of telling the history of your career, that the real lucky part of it. You got to be lucky, and the real lucky part for you was that you got to start your banking career under Jack Weatherford.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, you could have started somewhere else, and it might not have been the same. But Mr. Jack had whatever it was, and then later on to be able to work with Ben had to be a real gift as well. But you tried to describe it a little bit earlier. But what do you think you learned from? Do you think you learned customer service from Mr. Weatherford, or what aspects of that business do you think rubbed off on you from him?
Mr. Weatherford always spoke to every person in the bank, whether you were, regardless of what you did. He treated everybody the same, and that's huge, because we've all been in environments where if you weren't perceived as being important, you were overlooked. And Jack Weatherford was always kind. His door was always open, and he had the magic touch. Yeah, he had the magic touch.
Yeah, sure did. And but then as you wound up your career at Smart Bank with another good group of folks over there, but how did you know it was time to retire?
When it stopped being fun. When it stopped being fun, everybody said, because a lot of my friends had already retired, and everybody said, when you get up and you don't want to go, that's when you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I knew that, it just wasn't as fun as it used to be, because the industry has changed, like you said, you walk in a bank now and there's screens now instead of a person, and the person on the screen may be in 4 counties away, but I'm still old school. I don't like to pay my bill at a restaurant on the little machine on the table.
Yeah.
We played trivia last night at Miller's Ale House, and I'm like, I just gave my card to the server because I don't do those little machines well.
Yeah, and in trivia has been. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. That's one of your real passions. And
well, I'm not good at it, but I have friends that are really smart.
That's. So I told people I'm typically a pretty decent Trivial Pursuit partner, and so I don't know. Sometimes those things start to change a little bit. We need to get a break in here and talk about what is going on with Frida 2.0. Frida Morgan is our guest today here on the Roundtable, and we'll be right back to talk about that and more here on the Roundtable on WGNS.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
Get ready for an unforgettable night and support First Shot. Autumn at the Alley is coming to Oakland's Mansion Tuesday, September 24th from 6 to 9 p.m. Sip on fine bourbon, wine, and spirits, enjoy premium cigars, and feast on incredible food from the Alley on Main, all while enjoying live music under the stars. Proceeds benefit First Shot's Academic All-Stars and Send the Kid to Camp programs. Find out more on their Facebook page and through Eventbrite, Autumn at the Alley, September 24th.
Think the customers know I raise these eggs myself?
They do now. That hen's been louder than your radio.
50 years of local flavor. The Farmers Market, Tuesday and Friday, 7 to 1.
Only at a producer-only market can you meet the hens behind the eggs.
Lane Agro Park in Murfreesboro.
First Shot, growing in Christ with life and athletic skills.
So we teach God's Word at everything we do to implant it in them so that they understand that the only way to get through the world is with God on their side.
First Shot founder and executive director Andy Herzer.
Our focus is on our inner city here at Patterson Park.
From academics to athletics, First Shot's focus is toward building a stronger, more courageous spirit to face opportunities and obstacles that our youth confront every day. To find out more about First Shot, go to firstshottn.org.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
We're visiting with Jennifer Sanchez, manager of Steered Straight 2 Furniture and Thrift at 1007 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
You're not just walking into just a big warehouse. You're walking into rooms. We've got a media room. We've got a boutique room. We've got a vintage room, a furniture area, kitchen, all that.
Steered Straight 2 Furniture and Thrift.
Every day you go in there, I promise you it's changing.
Steered Straight 2 Furniture and Thrift, 1007 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Online at steeredstraightthriftstore.org.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome into the Roundtable on this Wednesday. Chip Walters with you. And again, as we mentioned at the top of the show, the award-winning Roundtable, we're very appreciative to you all who listen, who helped made that happen. Named Best Local Talk Show by the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and that for radio across Tennessee in the small market. Frida Morgan is our guest, and we kind of covered your banking career and your whole 5 days of retirement that you had before going to work for Special Kids, and you know, Special Kids is a I mean for lack of a better term, it's a very special organization, and you know, in this day and age of stuff flying around, Special Kids has been here for a long time and has done a lot of good, and sometimes gets overshadowed a little bit, but that's why I'm sure they have Frida Morgan on staff now is because you can help shed some light on this great agency here in town.
Well, I have been honored to serve on that board of directors for a few years, and you're exactly right, Chip. Special Kids, wow, they do good work every day. I'm amazed at what they do. We've been around since September of 1998. Carrie Kleino and her father Dick Kleino saw the need, and the Lord just put everything right in line for the land, the building. I mean, it's fallen in place, and we are so fortunate to have so many supporters and partners here in Rutherford County to walk with us on this journey, because these children need us. You know, I walked down to the nursing building the other day with Casey, and one of the little girl there, I'm not sure what's wrong, but she has to be held by her torso and has to have some help walking. So, you know, the therapist is walking with her down the hall. You know, that's big stuff. Another little boy that we do feeding therapy at Special Kids. Mm-hmm. We do feeding therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy. Feeding therapist got a little boy that has not been able to eat a blueberry. You know, that's, if you've got a child that can't eat because of whatever, to be able to have food, to take food by mouth, that's huge. Mm-hmm. That is huge.
Yeah. So for people who may be new in the community, what type of disabilities or issues is Special Kids able to help youngsters with?
Well, in the nursing center, I mean, there are babies that are nonverbal, that may have a pad, that communicate by pad. Chris Treelove tells a story of a young man that's he is in school but does receive services at Special Kids. He's back in the back of the classroom, and he's pressing help on his iPad, and the teacher and the teacher's assistant, you know, come back there, and his schoolmate who was next to him had started to seize, but the little boy knew it beforehand, and so he's pressing help. So had he not had that ability, the little child that was having the seizure, don't know what the outcome might have been. So,
right.
There are wonderful stories every day, that we see. I know. I was talking with Scott earlier when I got here. His little niece Eloise. She has just excelled at Special Kids. So the therapist and the nurses and all the staff there, they do remarkable work every day. One interesting thing, the playground at Special Kids, it's not handicap assisted, and it was designed that way because these children, they need to learn to adapt. Not everything's going to always be as they need it, so that's why there's always a therapist or a nurse out there helping them, because sometimes we all have to adapt in life.
Yeah. How do families with children that may need the services of Special Kids, how do they get connected?
It is referral based from their physician or pediatrician, and then they will contact us, and our team will work with getting their child the services that they need. But like I say, there's speech therapy, there's occupational therapy, physical therapy, and feeding therapy. We have a room in the therapy center that has a twin bed in it, because there was a young man that was early teens that wanted to learn how to make his bed to help his mama. And so we put a call out, and people were gracious to help us. There's a twin bed in there. There's a little dresser in there. There's a clothing rack, because imagine if you're in a wheelchair, you can't hang your clothes
in a closet.
So, and there's a shower set up in the corner where they can learn the activities of daily living, and that's so crucial. I know when my father had his stroke, he had to learn how to eat again. He had to learn how to do everything over again. So, we don't know what hand we're going to be dealt, but we all have to work together and adapt.
Yeah, and obviously to keep a program that has helped so many for so long now. We're talking 27 years that Special Kids has been going on, and there have been some wonderful benefactors.
Yes.
Throughout time that if you saw that list of names, it would not surprise you at all.
No.
Of some of the folks who have helped out, but the big gifts are great, but the change that rattles also helps along the way, and with that there are numerous events that are going on, and you've got some coming up.
We do, and let me mention about the change that rattles too.
Love the money that folds. But
we love folding money, as they say. But if you can set up on a monthly donor plan to give $5 or $10 a month, that's huge. So imagine if everybody that's here in the station this morning, if we gave $10 a month. That adds up. That's light bill money, as I call it. Because we've got to keep the lights and water, running, regardless. So, if you can give $5 a month, if you can give $500 a month, or if you can give $5,000 a month to Special Kids or any nonprofit group that touches your heart, that is huge. That is absolutely huge.
Well, and what you just said right there, if people who are listening today, for instance, gave enough to where they were paying part of the light bill every month, that means other resources. The resources that had been going for that can be used for other things.
That's right. Hire additional therapists.
Yes.
But yes, we do tomorrow night, the board of directors is having an event at Special Kids because we've got so many new people in the community that may not know about Special Kids. So the board is sponsoring an event at the private room at Five Senses between 4:30 and 6:30 tomorrow evening, and I know you're going to come to that, Chip, and I'm delighted to have you. And I know Bart and Leanne are coming, and there again, so many wonderful partners. David and Sherry Lynn donated the flowers. I mean, how huge is that? They have got such huge hearts. David and Sherry on Murfreesboro Flower Shop and Copper Ridge Event Venue, huge hearts. Mitchell Murphy and his staff at Five Senses, gave us a tremendous discount. Kathy Jones and her daughter Allison at the Peddler gave us a lovely gift card for door prize for tomorrow night. So, it's not one, it's all of us that come together. So we've got that tomorrow night. And then September 23rd, we're having a trivia night at Champy's Chicken. Starts at 6 o'clock. So any of the trivia lovers out there, you can go to specialkidstn.com and
I think you've asked me to be at that too, haven't you?
Yes, you're going to be an expert, Chip.
Oh my goodness, you're short on experts.
No, you're going to be an expert. So if you're a trivia team and you can have between 4 and 6 players on your team, you can rent an expert around. So Chip's going to be an expert. We've got because with all your sports and just general life knowledge, you'll
it's called being old, Frida.
Well,
so.
Yeah, the gray hair makes an impact, doesn't it?
It does.
We've got several folks that are going to come and help us be an expert. So that's huge, and that'll be a fun night. My friend Alex Abernathy, that has a rocket science trivia, is going to come and do the live trivia. So that'll be a great time. And then we do at Special Kids, we do a spring golf tournament at Indian Hills, and then we do a fall golf tournament out at Cedar Crest.
Okay, up in Smyrna.
Yep.
Or on Jefferson
Pike. Yeah. So special thanks to the Hollingshead family for helping us with Cedar Crest, because the staff out there, they sure take good care of us. So that's October 24th.
Okay, I was going to put the date down. October 24th. That's at Cedar Crest.
Cedar Crest.
And for any of these events, if people want to take part, what's the best way to go to the website first?
Go to the website, specialkidstn.com, or they can text me or call Special Kids, and they can text me at 615-830-2090 or call me 615-830-2090, or go to specialkidstn.com, and there you can go to the events tab and sign up for any of the events. You can go to the donate now tab and do a one-time donation, or you can do a sign up there to do the become a monthly partner, because like I say, without the village, without all the residents of Rutherford County, Special Kids, along with many of the nonprofits in town, would be struggling. So don't think, oh gosh, my $25 a month isn't going to matter. It matters. So any of us who do something for a long, long time, which you have done, and as you mentioned, it came a point to where you when you start looking toward how to wind this up or whatever, that fire gets a little dimmer. Right.
And so it appears, just knowing you like I know you, that this has relit a flame for you, and that has to make you happy inside as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm afraid I'm getting on Casey and Chris's nerves, because I'm like, what about this, and what about this, and how do we do this? So, it's so good to be a part of that organization, and hopefully what we do today makes a difference in the lives of the children of tomorrow.
Yeah, I wanted just to use today as an opportunity to, number one, salute you for what you have done and shed some light on what you're continuing to do now in your work. But and I'm sure when you think back on your banking career, and we talked about the places that you worked and the people that you worked for and worked with, things like that, but knowing you as well, probably the strongest memories are people that you were able to help out, and whether it was connect them to a lender or somebody who had putting together a college fund for their children, things like that, to get them through something and come out on the other side. That had to be some of the most fulfilling parts of what you did in the banking business.
Absolutely. I laugh. You and I have gray in our hair, Chip. So I
have a little brunette left is in my gray. That's what it's.
I am on my third generation of certain families. So that speaks volumes. That people have confidence and faith in you, and they're my friends. I've got folks that I'd walk on water for, and they would walk on water for me. So,
well,
I've been very blessed.
I had to do a little arm twisting to get you in here, but I'm glad you came, and glad that it worked out. The timing, worked out perfect because we could talk about the new things that you have going on, and wish you all the best of that. And I'll see you tomorrow evening, and then I'll be trying to, as my mother used to say, I'll try to eat my razor soup so I'll be sharp for trivia night. So
on the 23rd. Yeah. Brian, what about you coming and being an expert too?
I'm an expert in nothing.
Well,
that is the problem.
That's what I say. I play trivia some with Wendy Cluse and Renee McGowan and Carol Stewart and Donna Abernathy and Tom Trichler, and I always say that I have good penmanship. That's what I bring, because they're the smart ones. But come and be an expert with us, and it's gonna be fun.
That just sounds like an oxymoron, being an expert with us.
Well, there's just random stuff that you'll go, oh yeah, I knew that. How did I know that? I don't know.
It's always after the answer's given that I know.
Well, congratulations to you and to John Dinkins. I've known John Dinkins since he worked at the Bellwood Market. Now, that was a day or so ago. So.
Yep, exactly. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us today. If you missed any of this, you can check it out on the podcast section of wgnsradio.com. Next week, we'll be previewing the MTSU football season, as we're just 10 days away from opening day, as the Blue Raiders will host Austin Peay on the 30th. So Brian is up next, so keep it here all day on the Big G, WGNS.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford County.